Apple's new Mac Pro is now available to order online, and as you guys can see right here on my screen, you can spec it up to over $50,000 for one machine without the display. Now that's been causing quite a bit of an uproar on the internet and on YouTube, with a lot of people freaking out over the $50,000 price tag, and a lot of people saying that Apple is trying to rip everybody off. Now, is that the truth? Is Apple trying to rip you off, or is it actually priced reasonably well? So in this video, we're gonna answer that question. Right here on my screen, I have 6 different websites that sell various configurations of workstation computers, just like the Mac Pro. So let's see if Apple is really trying to rip you off. But before I get into these configurations, I want to remind you a few key features about the Mac Pro that stand out compared to other workstations. First of all, the design of the Mac Pro is absolutely amazing, especially compared to all the other workstations that look like these black boxes that do not look good. You wouldn't want this on your desktop. On top of that, the cooling system on the Mac Pro is absolutely incredible. Based on the reviews of the few YouTubers who have gotten their hands on this, it's whisper quiet almost all the time. You even get really good I/O even on the base Mac Pro. You get 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, which you have to buy separate adapters for with regular workstations, and you get 2 10GB Ethernet ports right out of the box for the base price. And then for each MPX module you add, you get 4 more Thunderbolt 3 ports on top of that. You also get a crazy good 1400 watt power supply on all of the models. And finally, Apple has created the Afterburner card, which you can only get on the Mac Pro, and it does an excellent job of encoding and decoding ProRes and ProRes RAW footage on the MacBook Pro only. Now, the best part of all is how easy Apple made it to configure and order your own Mac Pro. Look at this, there's only a few options right here that make it very, very simple to order compared to, check this out. This is Dell's order form right here. Check out all of these options. Look at this. Imagine you own a company and you really need some very powerful workstation computers, and you've got to go through this whole list, and you have no idea how to configure this. So what's going to happen is you're going to end up hiring somebody or paying somebody, a consultant, to go through all of this and tell you exactly what you need. Of course, you can go through Dell, but they're going to upcharge you. They're going to try to sell you even better stuff than you need. So you're going to end up paying somebody to go through this and make sure you're getting the best bang for the buck for what you need. So we're gonna get into the first comparison. This is Dell's Precision 7920 Tower Workstation. And as you guys can see, we actually spec'd it up to $71,733. So let's start off with the processor. Let's go all the way down, skip these low-end processors, go straight to the Xeon Platinum 8280M. Now this is the best processor that Dell offers, and if you look here, it only goes up to 4.0 GHz turbo boost compared to Apple's 28 core, which goes up to 4.4, so Apple's is actually better. Now onto the graphics cards, we're going to choose dual NVIDIA Quadro RTX 6000 cards, which are very similar in performance to Apple's 2 Radeon Pro Vega 2s, but the difference is that the Mac Pro has 32 GB of video memory compared to only 24 on the Quadro, so you're getting a little bit more performance with the Mac Pro. Here we are at the RAM, and we've got 1.5 terabytes, so that's 12 sticks of 128, and let's go and choose the same thing, 1.5 terabytes, 12 sticks of 128 on the Mac Pro. Now going down to the hard drives, Dell actually forces you to get a 4 terabyte hard drive in order for the 1.5 terabytes of memory to work, so we're gonna grab a 4 terabyte hard drive. Now we're gonna go down and choose a M.2 2 terabyte PCI Express NVMe SSD, and we'll go to the third one and choose another one right there. And then on the Mac Pro side, we just chose simply 4 terabyte SSD right there. So let's skip all these hard drive options. Now going down to the network options, we're gonna choose the dual band Wi-Fi. We definitely want one of those. Now going to network cards, we're looking for dual 10 gigabit Ethernet, but you actually don't have the option. You can only get the 5 gigabit Ethernet, so I guess we're gonna have to go with that. You don't even get 10 gig on this machine. Now here we're running into an issue. This system supports a maximum of 5 PCI Express slots with a single CPU. So it looks like we're not even able to get that network card on, so I guess we're gonna have to take that off. So now let's go down and add some Thunderbolt 3 ports. And we ran into another issue. We still are maxed out on our PCI Express slots. So it looks like we can't even do that if we want 2 GPUs on there because it's using too much of the slots. So basically, if we want the extra I/O, we actually have to go back and get a dual CPU, which is going to be a lot more expensive, but I'll just leave it at this. We're getting a total price of $74,138 compared to $44,599 for the Mac Pro. And what you're getting is a really nice looking machine. You're getting 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports on the machine itself, and then 4 on each MPX module, so that's 12 Thunderbolt 3 ports right there, and dual 10 gigabit Ethernet as well. So it's actually less than the Dell machine. Now let's move on to HP's Z8 G4 workstation. Let's go choose a processor. Looks like we can choose the same exact one. Note that it's still slower than Apple's 28 core. We're going to skip the second processor. We're going to go down. We're going to choose the better chassis, 1450 watts compared to Apple's 1400 watts. Going down to RAM, you can only get a maximum of 384 right here with this one processor. So we're going to get the same thing, 384 on the Mac Pro. Going down, we're going to choose the internal M.2. We're going to choose a 2 terabyte and then choose a second 2 terabyte, a matching one. So just like Apple's 4 terabytes right there. We're going to choose the same exact RTX 6000, and then for the second card, we're going to get another RTX 6000, and that will match Apple's 2 Radeon Pro Vega 2s. We're going to go down and get dual 10 gigabit Ethernet, which is nice that we have this right here, which the Mac Pro already has that. And right here at accessories, it actually tells us that we cannot get the dual port Thunderbolt 3 adapter that goes into the PCI Express port because we don't have the right graphics option selected. These are slower cards right here, but we want the fast ones that match up with the Mac Pro, so it looks like we cannot even get Thunderbolt 3 on this HP machine. Now looking at the total price, we're at $40,000 compared to $25,599 on the Mac Pro. So that was for the high end. What if we actually try to build a more bang for the buck small business workstation setup? Let's go here. Let's actually choose the 12 core processor right here, 12 core on the HP, 12 core on the Mac Pro. Let's go with 48 gigabytes of RAM, 6 sticks by 8 gigs, which right here on the Mac Pro, 48 gigabytes. We'll go down and just choose a 1 terabyte SSD, just like on the Mac Pro, 1 terabyte. And this time we're just gonna get one of the RTX 6000 Quadro graphics cards, and we'll just get one of the Vega 2s on the Mac Pro as well. And we come out with a total price of $14,656 for the Dell and only $10,099 on the Mac Pro, and you're getting a much better looking machine with a bunch of Thunderbolt 3 ports. Now let's move on to Titan computers. Right here you'll see we have the 28 core right there and on the Mac Pro as well. Going down we have 256 gigs of RAM, which it doesn't perfectly match the Mac Pro because it's only 4-channel RAM compared to the Mac Pro's 6-channel, which is actually faster than 4-channel. So we'll go with 256 on the Titan and 384 on the Mac Pro to make it a little bit more fair. Let's choose the 1200 watt power supply because that's the best one you can get on the Titan compared to 1400 on the Mac Pro. We've got dual RTX 6000s, just like before, and we've got the 2 Radeon Pro Vega 2s. We've got 2 SSDs that are 2 terabytes each, so it'll match the 4 terabyte SSD on the Mac Pro. And right here, we've added the dual RJ45 10 gigabit Ethernet adapter right there. Now let's get some Thunderbolt ports, and unfortunately right here, it looks like we can only get Thunderbolt 2, not 3, so that kind of sucks, but we'll go with what we can get. And looking at the total price, we're at $26,694 compared to $25,599. That's with a faster processor, more RAM, 384 instead of 256, and you get the Thunderbolt 3 ports and the dual 10 gigabit Ethernet. So you're actually saving money and getting a better looking machine at the same time. Now onto Lenovo's ThinkStation P920 workstation. We're actually going to choose a 12 core because it'll better match what we get because we can't choose a 24 core. So we're just going to choose one 12 core and we're going to match it up right here on the Mac Pro, the 12 core. We've got 192 gigabytes of RAM, which we've got 192 right here on the Mac Pro as well. We've got dual RTX 6000s and we got the 2 Vega 2s on the Mac Pro. We got 4 terabytes of SSD on each system, and unfortunately, for the Ethernet adapter, we're not able to get dual 10 gigabit Ethernet. we can only get one 5 gigabit Ethernet on the Lenovo. And looking at the total price, we've got $14,804 compared to $16,599 on the Mac Pro. Now this is the first machine that's actually cheaper than the Mac Pro. But then yet again, take a look at this. The processor that's 12 cores is actually slower than the one on the Mac Pro. This one's actually faster on the Mac Pro. Apple's RAM is also a little bit faster than the one on the Lenovo. And finally, you get a beautiful looking machine with the Mac Pro. You also get 12 Thunderbolt 3 ports and you get dual 10 gigabit Ethernet, which you can't get on the Lenovo. So I'd say the extra price is actually worth it for the Mac Pro, especially how simple it is to order. Now moving on to Puget systems, the best processor you can actually get is the 18 core. Now this is actually a 2-year-old 18 core, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna match it up with a 16 core because that 16 core is brand new, so it actually performs around the same or faster than the older 18 core. And because of that, the RAM is only 4 channels, so to make it the most fair, we're gonna get 32 gigs on the Puget system and 32 gigs on the Mac Pro. We're gonna get one RTX 6000 on this machine, so we'll get one Vega 2 on the Mac Pro. And then we'll grab a 2TB SSD and 2TB right there. And that brings us to a total price of $9,477 compared to $11,199 for the Mac Pro. So in this comparison, it actually makes sense to buy the Puget. This is actually not that bad of a deal, but you are getting a processor that is 2 years old compared to the brand new one on the Mac Pro. So there you go. After comparing all those different configurations, we can see that Apple is actually not ripping you off. They're actually competitively priced, and in some cases, they're actually cheaper than the other Windows workstations with newer hardware, the really nice design, a lot more Thunderbolt 3 ports, you get built-in dual 10 gigabit Ethernet, and the order page is so simple that almost anybody can go on here, configure their Mac Pro, buy it, and have it shipped to their door. And even better, you can upgrade the RAM yourself. Apple actually posted a video on YouTube on how to do that yourself, so we're gonna post a link down below for the best RAM that we recommend for this system. So based on all of that, Apple is actually not ripping you off with the Mac Pro. It's actually a pretty good deal, and it looks really good as well. Now we actually ordered our very own Mac Pro. It's the $12,000 model, so if you want to see some in-depth testing with that, make sure to tap the like button and click the circle above to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Check out those 2 videos right there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.